And I think Money in the Bank is going to be a really good show. I'm looking forward to the show on paper, as it usually is. Um, WWE Intercontinental Championship being defended by Sami Zayn against Braun Breaker. They set this up nicely in the last couple of weeks on such short notice. Breaker's really coming to his own as a threat on the Raw roster. I thought the talking segment they had on Raw this week was great. Breaker obviously laying out Sami Zayn. Do you think that was booking 101 where Breaker gets the better of Sami a couple weeks in a row and Sami finds a way to win? Or do they actually go all the way with Braun Breaker so quickly by having him become champion? I feel like this one can go either way.
Yeah, I think this is a tough one. I feel like you said for Wrestling 101, Sami wins here. And I kind of feel that's where it's going. Maybe he just beats. I mean, maybe like Braun gets frustrated, and Sami just rolls him up or gets like a quick one on him. Because I don't know. I feel like Sami wins here, and then Breaker wins the belt at SummerSlam, so he kind of extended it a little bit longer. Like maybe it's similar to like what Gunther did. Like he has Sami beat, but he's just trying to like kill him, and then Sami just beats him last second, like hurrah. So I'm gonna say Sami retains. Not that I really want that to happen, but I think you hold the title change until SummerSlam. So I say Sami wins here and Braun beats him at SummerSlam.
Do you think that we get the four-way of what? I mean, I don't know what was originally planned, but it looked like they were setting up a four-way a couple of weeks ago before Kaiser got hurt. Kaiser, Sheamus, Braun, Sami, and that could be where Breaker becomes champion by pinning Kaiser or Sheamus or something like that. Or do you think they just run it back one-on-one at SummerSlam?
Yeah, I mean, regardless, I think Breaker leaves SummerSlam with the belt. So I mean, you could do the four-way, or you could just do them one-on-one.
Yeah, I think either way, I think the belt ends up on him regardless of what show it is, where it is, when it is. I think the belt is going to Breaker before long. Hopefully that can clear Sami up to go back to the main picture, main event picture, I guess, which we haven't seen him in a while. So, yeah, I think the belt ends up on Breaker. I'm going to do you one better here. Go a bit of a bold prediction and say Breaker becomes champion on Saturday. I think they give him the Brock push and just go all the way. I mean, they want you to think, which they've done before with people like Mark Henry, where they have him dominate for weeks and then, he could fall short right when it matters most and then he wins it later on. With Mark Henry, they just went all the way with the whole Hall of Pain thing about a decade ago. I think they did the same thing with Breaker. I think he dominates everyone and then he becomes champion in his first opportunity. So they don't have to, have him get pinned in his first match on the main roster. He could, remain undefeated. So I could totally see him doing that. But I got Braun Breaker. You got Sami Zayn in that Intercontinental Championship matchup. Let's see. I'll get to the sixth man in a second. We'll go with the World Heavyweight Championship match first. Damian Priest, Seth Rollins, last chance match for the World Heavyweight title. If Damian Priest wins, Rollins can no longer challenge for the title as long as Priest is champion, which I like that they added that stipulation, but it's kind of stupid when you consider that Priest will not be champion for much longer. If he doesn't lose it here, he's probably losing it at SummerSlam. He is losing it at SummerSlam to Gunther. So, kind of a silly stipulation because Rollins can challenge for it any other time after that. But if Rollins wins here, Priest has to leave the Judgment Day. So, World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Before I tell you what I think is going to happen, what do you think is going to happen, Mr. Marceau? What's your prediction?
This one, like you set me up, but I think this one's a lot easier than most.
Okay.
I think it's Rollins wins LOL. I mean,
all right.
I think the sexier match at SummerSlam is Rollins and Gunther anyways. There's the whole dysfunction in the Judgment Day, so him leaving is not that big of a deal. And maybe Finn, kind of like accelerates a little bit on Saturday night. Just kind of, I think we get Rollins and Gunther, Priest and Balor at SummerSlam, so I don't see Priest winning here. So I got Rollins.
I don't think this one is as clear cut, though. I agree with you. I think Rollins will win. I said to you a week or two ago, I think it's slam dunk. Rollins wins the world title. Set of him and Gunther at SummerSlam. It is the sexier match on paper. I don't know, though. They were really leaning into that Judgment Day tension on Raw to make me think that they want you to think that he's going to lose or Balor's going to cost him, but then he doesn't. I don't know. I feel like they're doing like the double fake out here thing. They're really fucking with me mentally as far as who I think is going to win this. I'm still going Rollins, and I think I'll take it a step further. And because what really convinces me that Rollins is winning is that line from Priest. And I don't think they threw that in for no reason because they acknowledged it this week. And again, you were there, you heard it as well. That with Priest, he had said to Rollins last week, I don't need the Judgment Day. They need me more than I need them. And Balor heard that this week. He reacted to it. He was pissed about it. So do you think that Balor not only, could get involved, he could inadvertently cost Priest the title? I think you just go right to it, and he gets involved, and he literally costs Priest the belt on purpose, saying, "Listen, if you say you don't need us, then we're just going to cut bait right now and cost you that World Heavyweight Championship." I feel like that would make the most sense, and you set up Balor and Priest for SummerSlam.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Could Liv get involved too? Maybe Dominic, or do you leave them off the show?
I think it's more Balor right now, so I would just do Balor.
Yeah, like you said, I think Rollins and Gunther is the sexier match for SummerSlam, so that's what I would do as well. Six-man tag team match, nothing on the line here, but it does look really promising on paper. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens taking on the Bloodlines. We don't know, actually. They haven't confirmed who it is. So it's either going to be Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and or Jacob Fatu. I would do everyone but Tonga Loa, but if they want to put the two Tongans on there and save Jacob Fatu's in-ring debut for another time, you could. It doesn't really matter. This is an interesting one, though. I think this one is probably the most predictable match on the show. I think the Bloodline wins, because if the idea is that you do Solo and Cody at SummerSlam, which is not a SummerSlam-worthy match, but if you're going to do that and have that be the backdrop for a Roman return, I feel like the Bloodline's got to win here, right? I mean, I know we were thinking at one point maybe Orton turns on Cody at the end, and you set up Cody and Randy, and maybe Roman and Solo. It's probably too soon for both of those matches. So I think the Bloodline wins here. What do you think?
Bloodline wins, sets up Cody and Solo at SummerSlam. I think, like I said, probably the most predictable match.
So Cody Solo SummerSlam, is that when Roman comes back afterward?
I would say so.
That's what main event? I mean, Cody and Solo on paper is not a SummerSlam main event, but if Roman comes back afterward, that's the only reason why it would go on last.
I mean, I think you could do it like Cody beats Solo, they beat up Cody after, Randy and Kevin hit the ring, they get kind of taken over, and it's like they're basically about to kill Cody, and then Roman comes out.
Yeah, you could do that. And then set up, begin the build for whatever they're going to do, maybe at War Games, at Survivor Series, or whatever. So, yeah, I think SummerSlam's a safe bet for when Roman comes back. If they want to hold off on it even longer, honestly, you'll get no complaints out of me, because I think the longer they wait, unless it's like egregiously long, the longer they wait, the more it's going to mean when he comes back. So, I think that you hit the nail right on the head with that one. Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We now know all the combatants: Io Sky, Zoe Stark, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Chelsea Green. This one's a bit more predictable than the men's. Tiffany's my pick. But honestly, you can make a case for a lot of these women. Zoe ain't fucking winning. Zoe's the... This might as well be a 5-woman ladder match. I like Zoe. She's a good wrestler. She ain't fucking winning. But the other women, Io would not win 2 years in a row, but they're trying to do the whole damage control thing right now, whatever. The other 4 women, I think, have a shot. Honestly, Naomi's been teasing something with Bayley. I don't think she would turn heel on her, but they could give her the contract and tease cashing it on her. Lyra's been on a roll recently. She's gradually getting over. You could do something there with her and Liv. You could do that without the briefcase, but that's an option. Chelsea Green, I think, would be perfect for it, honestly. Her character work's been great. She's been very entertaining. I could certainly see her with the briefcase, but I think the safe pick is Tiffany. I think she's the next champion. After maybe Nia wins it at SummerSlam, but in the next 6 months, Tiffany will be champion. So, what's your analysis of this one?
I think I'm done. And there was a chance. Actually, Zoe has no shot to win. I think realistically it comes down to someone on SmackDown, because I think the men's is going to be someone from Raw. So they're not going to put the briefcase on both brands. There's the 2 briefcases on one brand, so that mixes out Lyra, who I like, but I think she's kind of busy doing something else. Zoe, no, and Io's kind of got her own thing, so I don't think she's going to win, and she's not going to win back-to-back. Mm-hmm. So then it comes down to Naomi, Tiffany, and Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea should win it. Like I said, great character work, but I don't know, it gives me like Otis vibes.
Okay, that's understandable.
Tina Morella winning the briefcase, no thank you. Like I said, Naomi's teasing it, but I just don't know thank you. I think it's Tiffany slam dunk all day.
Does she cash in sooner, or do you think they hold out for a while? I mean, if Nia wins the belt at SummerSlam, and I think she probably will, they're doing this whole Nia-Tiffany alliance thing. I think it might be a while before we see her cash in.
Yeah, I would have her hold the belt. I'd have her hold it for a little bit.
Unsurprisingly here, but listen, she's a star. She came out in MSG last week, and she got a great reaction, and people were very happy to see her win. So she will be champion at some point. I think the 100% cash-in rate for the women will continue with Tiffany. I think If she doesn't win, if the other women, anyone but Zoe, I guess, if anyone else wins, I'd be happy with it. But my money is on Tiffany, pun intended. And then we get to the men's one. Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight, and Drew McIntyre. Another really, really good matchup. McIntyre is the only former world champion, WWE world champion, in this match. No one else has won Money in the Bank. No one else has won a world title in WWE. Very interesting lineup here. I think this opens the show, honestly. I think they could close with the Cody stuff. The Money in the Bank match would be great, but I think they probably close with the Bloodline match. I could see them opening with this. Who do you think goes over? Uso, Hayes, Andrade, Gable, Knight, or McIntyre?
Like I said, I'm going the opposite direction here. Hayes, no. Andrade, no. LA Knight, no. It's got to be someone on Raw. I think the three that are in it make the most sense of anyone to win.
Okay.
I don't think Gable will win. I think it's really down to Uso and McIntyre. I mean, I don't think Drew needs the win, so I'm leaning more towards Jay, and I also do not want the stupid Wyatt thing that you pitched an hour ago, so I hope that doesn't happen. They might as well just bury Jay's career at that point. I'm a mark. I'm going with Jay. I think he needs it the most. I think it makes the most sense. Like I said, I guess you could do the whole Wyatt thing, at least if he has the briefcase, I guess, but I mean, if he doesn't win here where he has to fucking fight the Wyatt Six, no thank you. I mean, like I said, I don't know how either guy gets over, how it helps either person. No thank you. But I'm going to go with Uso. I hope to God if Drew loses, not like CM Punk again, for the love of God. But I'm going to go with Jay. I just think, like Tiffany, I think it makes the most sense.
Here's what I don't think is just going to happen. Here's what I think will happen. Here's what will happen. I think Drew's going to win this. He already said he's cashing in on the show of, the night of. He's going to try to cash in during the World Heavyweight title match, and Punk will cost him the cash in. That is what's going to happen. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I mean, I don't want Punk... Listen, I know you can have Punk interfere in the match and cost Drew. Punk's only been gone for 2 weeks. I mean, he took a pretty brutal beating by McIntyre. I think you can set up Punk's return some other way. I would not do that. I think that's a waste. I think
that's a fucking waste. If he won the briefcase just to lose the same night as a Punk, that's so fucking stupid.
It is stupid, but listen, I think it makes sense because it furthers the feud. But here's the thing, though. The thing
is the feud's already further. You don't need that to happen.
That was what I was going to say. I think the feud is already hot enough where they don't need to waste this shit on McIntyre and Punk. I mean, that would just be, again, it's a storytelling device. The briefcase is a storytelling device. You're not going to make a new star every time. But if it makes sense to put it on like a Rollins or something, then you do it. I don't think it makes sense to put it on McIntyre. I think that'd be incredibly fucking stupid. Especially with all the failed cash-ins we've gotten in the past decade, I would not do it with McIntyre. I mean, does it bury McIntyre? No, but it makes him look like an idiot for saying, I'm going to cash in that night, and then not expecting Punk to be there. I know he beat him up a couple weeks ago, but how many times has this happened? WrestleMania, Clash at the Castle. He didn't even have to be on the show, and I think it would have been fine. I think Dragunov could have been in this match instead, and it would have been perfectly fine. I think McIntyre wins. But listen, I think Jey Uso was my pick originally. I want Jey Uso to win, because kind of going off of what we said earlier, the Wyatt Six stuff, I get.
Dude, that is fucking awful. You can't convince me that's good, and I don't want to. Like, I literally, my stomach hurts just thinking about it.
Let me ask you this. Is this do or die time for Jey Uso after having lost every fucking title opportunity he's had for the past 4 years, but like the past year or so? I mean, he needs to...
He basically said that when he announced that in Money in the Bank that he's been a fucking loser and lost every match that mattered, and that's why he was going to finally win this match.
He beat his brother in that mediocre match at Mania.
And he's lost every other title match that meant anything.
Yeah.
I just feel like he loses again. I mean,
I feel like
if LA Knight lost to Logan Paul at SummerSlam, you'd be like, this guy's just a glorified loser.
Well, as long as he beats Logan eventually, and I think he will, then that's fine. I think there's a chance Logan Paul, LA Knight could win here, and then he cashes in on Logan, like announces it. But I think that's a waste because he already beat Logan. He literally pinned Logan on SmackDown, so there's no reason for him to.
Don't casting it on a mid-card title. Just...
If you had to have someone, who do you think is most likely to interfere in this match? The Wyatt Six, Logan Paul, or CM Punk?
I mean, the worst part, I saw someone say AJ Lee.
Yeah, AJ Lee's another one. I think you can do the AJ Lee thing, but not in this match.
Dude, I'm literally getting so mad right now. James Harden winning the stupid lights go off, I'm fucking done.
And then Drew capitalizes instead.
That's just stupid. Oh my god, now I'm like freaking out.
What is the long-term...
I think the Wyatt Six will get in the match, and I fucking hope to God it's not Jay.
Do you think that maybe Gable is going to the top and the lights go out, so Jay goes on top instead, and they actually turn on Jay instead of Gable? Maybe that's what they're going for here.
But like, I understand the whole point. Like, someone that left their family, but like Jay, like he left an abusive relationship. He should have left the family.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Dude, please no.
I think Jey Uso is facing the Wyatt Six, and I think Drew McIntyre is failing to cash in on that night.
That's the stupidest two things I've ever heard in my life.
That's a double whammy of stupidness for Mr. Marceau. Listen, I agree. I think it's silly. I think it's a waste.
What's Vince Russo booking? That's fucking dumbest shit ever. That's Russo-esque booking right there.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just don't think. I think the Wyatt Six stuff, I kind of get it, but at the same time, it's like, again, like I said, who benefits? Like, does Jey Uso benefit? Like, at that point.
Because then what's the end game? They're going to beat Jay or Jay beats them, then what?
Actually, let me ask you this. What if they swerve us? And I've seen some people say this, so it's not my original idea, to be fair. But instead of anyone that I mentioned interfering, what if it's Jimmy Uso interfering? All right? And no, I'm not done yet. What if Jimmy Uso interferes and helps Jey Uso win, and because he felt bad about costing him the title last year at SummerSlam? How about that, huh? Then that's how they reunite.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that makes no sense. Like,
why would it make no sense?
He died like 3 months ago.
He did, but the bloodline turned on him, so now he has no friends or family, so he's got to turn back on Jay. I mean, even Jay was willing to. I mean, they wouldn't reunite. They're not going to kiss and make out at Money in the Bank, but they could tell the story like it'll take time for him to forgive him. But helping him win the briefcase would be a nice start. It's better than the alternative.
Anything's better than Wyatt Six. That is literally, I hate you for putting it in my head. But like, I guess the only thing that would make sense is like, for the men, that do you have to like cash in on the show that you're on or no?
Not necessarily. I think
the only thing that makes sense is like Jimmy helping Jay, like just thinking like, hey, like you have this just in case Solo won the belt, like you could take it off him, like that makes sense. But like any other way would make no sense for Jimmy to help him because we haven't seen him in months.
Well, he comes back. That's his big return.
Dude, imagine the Wyatt Six come out, Jimmy hops the rail and fucking kills everyone, and then Jay wins. That sounds a lot better. I like that idea better.
What if the Wyatt Six lay out Jimmy Uso and then Jay gets distracted and then that's how Drew McIntyre wins?
My phone will be smashed into pieces. That's what will happen.
And then Drew will cash in that same night, and Punk will come out for a third time and cost him the win. I mean,
sounds terrible.
I just don't think that needs to happen. I just don't.
Kid's gonna text me on Sunday. What do you think of the show? Didn't watch it.
I'll text you at 11 or 7:30 because it starts at 7 after. I mean, I think this is opening, and that's what they'll do, and they'll set up for the main event or whatever that World Heavyweight Title match happens, and that's what they'll do. And I don't know who wins the world title, aside probably Rollins, but I think that's what they'll set up for. I mean, I'm just be perfectly honest. I think that's what they're going for, and I don't like it. We'll have a lot to say about it next week, though. I'll tell you that much. McIntyre
I don't think anyone would like it. That's the thing. Like, I don't think it's a popular. Anyone would like that.
McIntyre and Punk is already hot as it is, though. What they did at Clash, I didn't even love that. Because I thought it made Drew look dumb for not thinking Punk might be there, and then he didn't see it coming. Then he attacked him, which was cool. But then Punk's back from the dead 2 weeks later. You talk about Jimmy Uso coming back from the dead. Punk's only been out for 2 weeks. That's nothing.
Yeah, like I said, I guess if AJ Lee got involved, okay. At least it's like a new. That's like, okay, I'm fine with that, because, like, at least it's, like, someone else, not Punk. Like I said, Punk's, like, dead, so it wouldn't make any sense. At least if AJ is something new, and, like, you wouldn't see that coming, obviously.
Yes, yeah.
But Punk, it's like, dude, come on, how many times are you going to do it?
I would say if AJ Lee
would
have
Jimmy with the hoodie, like, you knew every time, like, with Solo, like, with Roman, like, you knew who it was.
No, I agree. That would just be dumb. I would say if AJ Lee were to be there and return and cost Drew, I think she would cost him the briefcase. I'm sorry, she would cost him the ladder match. She would not get involved in the World Heavyweight title match because what is she going to do? Attack Drew? Like, she could push over the ladder. We've seen her do that before with John Cena, actually. I could see her in the ladder match, pushes over the ladder when Drew's on top. I could see her doing that. I don't think she'd come out.
This is what you do now that you're saying it. So Chad's about to win, the Wyatt Six take him out. Amazing.
Okay.
Then Drew's about to win and AJ interferes and then Jay wins. Huh?
What if then? Well, let's go full balls to the wall. This interference. LA Knight's about to win at some point, and then Logan Paul comes out and cost him the win. Andrade's up there, and then Santos cost him the win. Just have everyone get involved. I mean, it's no DQ.
And then Carmelo's with the win, and then Trick Williams cost him, and Jay's the only one left, and Jay wins.
I see no issue with it, bro. That's what I would do, bro, because that's what I would have done 20 years ago, bro.
No. Jay's about to win, and then Jimmy cost him, and Jimmy climbs the ladder and wins the briefcase.
Listen, you said Jay wins. I'll agree with that. The interference is just ridiculous. They got to tone it down with the interference bullshit.
There's going to be interference. I mean, we know there's going to be interference.
But if they only, like I said, if they only have one person, that's fine. That's wrestling. But if they have like fucking 3 people interfere, 2 even, that's just ridiculous. I mean, come on.
You're ready.
Oh, God. As long as Jay wins, that's fine. I don't think he is. I think Drew's winning, and we'll call it a day. I think that's what it's coming down to. That's exactly what it's coming down to.
Like I said, if he cashes in, if he wins and loses the same night, it's the stupidest thing ever.
That's what's going to happen. So, I mean, you might as well just accept it now.
I guess I just have to accept how dumb it is and just accept it, bud.
Yep. Just going to have to accept the stupidness of how stupid that angle's going to be.
If Jay's facing the Wyatt Six, I might be done.
I think that's where we're going with this. I think it's going to be Jay and Uncle Howdy at SummerSlam, baby. Go Dallas beating Jay.
You think Solo versus Cody's bad? That sounds 100 times worse.
Yeesh. And I thought SummerSlam was going to be stacked. I thought we were getting Drew and Punk, and it's going to be a tale of 2 cards in Cleveland. My God, I mean, Uncle Howdy and Jay, I mean, I guess, but what are we doing with Jey Uso? The guy, I mean, listen, you're a bigger Jey Uso fan than I am, but I got to agree with you. The guy's got to win at some point. He just can't be a loser forever.
He literally said in his promo for Money in the Bank that he was going to win because he lost all the big ones. He's going to lose again? Stop.
He's going to lose because of the Wyatt Six. He left his family. I'm going to get this kid heated for a 4th of July weekend just for Jay not to win on Saturday. We will talk all about it next week here on the show. Ranting and raving. You're going to throw yourself off a ladder if Jey Uso loses.
If what you said happens with all the people, I'm done.
If Wyatt Six get involved and cost Jay, and Drew wins, and Drew loses on the same show, I think you're going to be a pretty unhappy camper come next Thursday, is my guess.
I think 90% of WWE fans will be mad as well.
I would be mad at that too. I'll be laughing for how bad it is, but I'll also be very internally sad. I mean, that would be fucking terrible. So I hope they don't do that. I hope Triple H thinks otherwise, and this is all just one giant swerve, and we're complaining for nothing. But I guess we'll find out on Saturday.